Hi, welcome to the demonstration corner. Today we're going to be going over the TPS-3, which is our portable transient plane source measurement device for testing solids, pastes, and powders for thermal conductivity, thermal diffusivity, and volumetric specific heat with a thermal conductivity range of 0.03 watts per meter Kelvin up to 70 watts per meter Kelvin. The TPS-3 can test samples from 10 to 80 degrees Celsius. So the TPS-3 can be configured with the Keithley meter, so it can come with the Keithley meter as a package or just on its own for use with your own personal Keithley meter. So it comes with the standard 10 millimeter radius TPS sensor that's attached to this sensor holder that can be moved up and down to accommodate for the height of your sample. So today we're going to be setting up PyroCeram in symmetric configuration. So you just want to place one sample underneath your sensor and then adjust the height so that it's level with the top of your sample, and then place the other sample directly on top. And so the minimal sample size for the TPS-3 is 40 millimeters diameter and 5 millimeters thick. And then the TPS-3 also comes with a 1 kilogram weight that's placed on top of the sample setup. And this is just to ensure a good contact between the two samples and the sensor. So that's pretty much all there is for setting up a sample with the TPS-3. This can be clamped to any table there and adjusted just to accommodate for different sample sizes. So we're just going to move over to the software and set up a measurement. So the TPS-3 just comes with one software for setting up a sample and performing the measurements and reviewing the data. So once you open up the software, you'll see on the current profile that our TPS-3 device is detected. So then from the left-hand sidebar, we're just going to move on to the schedules page. So on this general tab, we're just going to want to enter some basic information. So the user ID and the method. So since this is for the transient plane source method, we're going to be selecting 3D disk source. Then we can just go next to the devices tab, and this is just going to show us what devices we're measuring with. So we have the TPS-3 with Keithley meter showing up here. And then we'll just move on to the sample page. So here we're just going to want to enter all the important information about our sample. So today we're measuring PyroCeram ceramic. So we just entered our sample name and our sample height and radius. Like we said before, the minimal sample height is 5 millimeters thick and 40 millimeters diameter, just to accommodate for this basic 10 millimeter radius sensor. So then we just see that the TPS-3 is connected to port 1 and the sensor model. We just also want to check the resistance of our sensor, and it's good, so then we can move on. And you're going to want to enter the temperature of the room. So we're measuring at 23 degrees Celsius. Then we can move down to entering our sample parameters. So you can select your test time. There's a few different selections here, so we're going to select 10 seconds and our power. So we're going to put 600 milliwatts for testing PyroCeram. And here's where we can set up our schedule. So we can select the number of tests we want to run and the delay between tests. We normally recommend at least 10 minutes between each measurement, just to allow the sample to return to isothermal conditions between each measurement. And so if we wanted to run 3 tests, we would set that up and select start, and this would automatically start our schedule. It's also recommended, once you set up your sample setup, to wait a few minutes before starting the schedule, as the measurements will begin right away. So yeah, that's all there is to setting up a sample and performing measurements with the TPS-3. Once you're done performing measurements, the results will display here for thermal conductivity, thermal diffusivity, and volumetric specific heat. And from here, you can export the results to Excel from this top-hand sidebar. And that's everything that you need to know about making a measurement with the TPS-3 and Keithley meter. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you for joining today. And